of the game, and then it kind of fell apart.
Yeah, but if you rewatch that last fight though, if they just had a little bit more damage, they would have killed Selfie's Lissandra, and suddenly I think the game could have been ended on Vitality's side. They could have aced H2K, and the game could have they could have gained like 3 towers and Baron control and done a whole lot of damage. So that interesting early game turned into a pretty much an ARAM in the last 20 minutes. Then suddenly H2K win the fight convincingly, but it was all thanks due to that one moment where Selfie self-ults himself on Lissandra at under 200 HP.
Yeah, managed to get away. So for Vitality, you know, I still feel that draft was not the greatest. They had moments that are good, and the Vitality players are showing up. These are guys that are looking like they are a very real threat to the top of this table. They've already banned away Tomkin, Shen, and Corki. Poppy and Lulu follow from Giants, so no real surprises in the picks and bans thus far.
I did like their draft yesterday. I actually gotta disagree there, actually. I did love it because if it wasn't for the level 1, and I think if they played it just slightly better, they had really, really good, interesting openings in that game. But that's yesterday. We're gonna focus on today. Yugos in the bans. Oh, look, Gangplank's open, and they don't pick Bard. Who would have known?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Cabashot is the first person to play AP top Gangplank last year.
Is he not the first person to play Gangplank?
Before all of the changes? Yes, there was Soaz. No, it wasn't Soaz. I will check my notes and get back to you. But for the time being, it was, in fact, Odawamne.
Yeah, okay.
Yesterday, being played by H2K. Now Cabashot's got it. Actually, H2K said that they expected Vitality to leave GP open because both Nukeduck and Cabashot play the champion. The cost of securing the GP is that Kalista over to Audrey.
Yeah, but the Morgana early lock-in, I completely disagree with. That is not a power pick you need to rush, and there are plenty of strong picks available right now that you could want to take. Even the likes of Alistar are there. I think Morgana has its place as a niche counter pick right now. I don't think she's strong enough as a generic pick. Yes, there are some lane morgs that you can play. You can play top lane Morgana if you really want to go for the push. But if that's a style you're looking for, you may as well play top lane Graves. So I need to see what Giants will do with this morg. Do agree on the Kalista pickup though. Incredibly strong champion overall.
Yeah, we've seen Kalista tearing people apart in the EU LCS. So for Vitality, we're anticipating this Kalista bottom, the Morgana mid maybe support more likely. And for Vitality, they're going to lock in some safe picks here. That Graves, you can see that in the jungle. We can still see that top. We can still see GP middle if Vitality want to play it that way. But Kasing on his big playmaking Thresh.
Yeah, I like Thresh into more, slightly more than Alistar because you have at least a range attack to yourself, so you don't really get punished by the double range versus melee matchup. And it becomes a skill matchup, mostly due to the fact that the level 3 hook breaks Black Shield, and then you have a lot of outplay potential. What I like the most about this rotation is just the Graves. Super strong jungle available, forces Giants to pretty much pick up Lee Sin as the only remaining strong jungle, if I'm not miscounting. Remember, Kindred is banned. And for a team that's already struggling, trying to create plays with Lee Sin, he's a little rough.
A little more difficult. Luckily for Xpepi, he has carried games in the past on Ahri. And we've got the lanes locked in, leaving the counter pick top for Atom. Is what we're anticipating, and we'll reveal where this Gangplank will be going shortly.
I mean, Nukeduck. So there's an option. There's two things you can do here. You can go for the GP to Ahri matchup, or you can just put the Gangplank top, expect that it gets countered, and try and babysit it with jungler, and just pick LeBlanc mid here. And Nukeduck should be able to beat Xpepi in that matchup. We've seen the Ahri LeBlanc matchup play out several times in the favor of LeBlanc. That is one approach they can take. Need to see what they do end up choosing now.
Well, if this cannon gets locked in, we know that's going to be Nukeduck on GP middle.
Yeah.
Cabashot's a big fan of that cannon. Used it on yesterday's game. No, couple games ago, actually.
Yep. We saw it yesterday as well. We saw the potential elements go wrecked.
It was into Fiora, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, by a 5-man cannon ulti. But right there, no tanks on the side of Vitality, so they can get snowballed on, and Giants have the means to snowball. They have 4 champions that excel at picking people off, dueling them in small skirmishes, 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, with the Kalista ultimate, making your support into an engaged tool. They will have to be careful though, because the amount of damage coming out of Vitality, similar to what H2K did yesterday. Well, you take out 1 damage dealer.
There's 4 more to back them up.
4 more to come up, and then maybe a support. So a lot of damage here. Kasing already hovering the exhaust, or Nukeduck hovering the exhaust already. Hopefully, Kasing goes for an ignite, so we see some spectacle in that lane.
What does Atom want to run? Lissandra, we've been seeing her more and more. I quite like the Lissandra pick for the simplicity of following in with her ultimate, but that's going to be Lissandra into Kennen, Ari into GP.
Yeah.
And for Giants, it's all about pick. All they're looking to do is assassinate one person, but the problem is, if you blow everything just to kill one guy, and there's enough AoE from everyone in Vitality, I think you're still hard-pressed to finish a team fight.
At the same time, though, if you split up and you just get some picks, it'll come to the junglers right now, because anytime a jungler shows up in a lane and the other guy's not there, and you get a numbers advantage, any of these matchup, any of these combinations you create will have enough damage to kill their lane opponent. Yeah. If Lissandra and Lee Sin show up and Kennen misuses E a little bit, he's dead. But if Graves and Kennen show up and there's one stun on the Lissandra, she just gets blown to smithereens. So much damage, which make things very complicated to play, but we will also get an explosive, fast-paced game in which teams very often lose the sense for the bigger picture. That may play into Giants' hand.
Well, we see if the coaches have led their teams well. Shawns and Lozak shaking hands and stepping off stage. The chance for explosive team fights this game.
Or
with
fights.
Everybody.
Team fights.
Touche. Skirmishes, let's use that word. Be much more accurate. Let's see, who do you guys think is actually going to have the advantage here? Hashtag Vitality win, VIT win, or hashtag GIA win. If you think the Giants will actually pick up their first win of the 2016 season. The odds are stacked against them because they have to prove that they can grow rapidly and learn from some of the mistakes that they've been making through some of the rest of their games.
Yeah, and I wonder if you'll see a lane swap here from Giants, because it is a skill matchup, but given the strength of Yarn and Kasing as a duo, and the fact they have this slightly a slight advantage in the matchup already.
Dark Binding, Crepo. Who is going to be the target? Godfred is going to look for one, and it's found Cabo Shard. Their engagement happens. They've caught Baton Yoka. He's already down. First blood to Nukeduck on Gangplank. Now Godfred's trying to run away. There are 5 members of Vitality chasing him. Forced to flash defensively. And that Giants is caught out.
That is just sad. I mean, they're face-checking you and you're walking out of the rush. That is a big mistake from Giants here. Just giving a kill away to Vitality. Can't really say more about that. They only have single target damage, so they really need to isolate one target from Vitality and blow it up. But then you really need to wait for a face check. You need somebody to get close to that brush so you can blow him up and then disengage. Crucial mistake here from level 1 already. Let's see how the lanes pan out. No deep wards on the side of Giants, and no lane wards on the side of Vitality, so it's pure guesswork at this point.
Crap, I've got an interesting stat for you. Godfred just dealt 130 damage that fight. That is a...
I know what's coming.
Yep, you do. Yesterday, Godfred took 28 minutes and 30 seconds to deal a single point of damage to enemy champions, playing Alistair.
Yeah.
That is how badly the game went for Giants and for Godfred. He totaled 268 damage by the end of the game. He's already hit 50% of that before the minute mark.
Silver linings, right?
Silver linings, silver linings.
Godfred moving in onto Nukeduck. Nukeduck has a wave coming, so he can juke into the minion wave, though. Gets bound.
Dark Binding hits. Pepe's going forward. Nukeduck's trying to get away, holding onto that exhaust. It may not matter. Ignite ticks him, but the tower shot!
Oh,
Holy!
No!
Whoa!
Nukeduck's like, okay, that just happened.
Yeah, come on, we need a replay of that.
So I want to, yeah.
I am at a loss for words.
That's okay, I'll take over. Godfred moving into jungle. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. So, alright, Kasing and Yarn in top lane right now, so they don't have anybody against him. Let's see this again. So, good roam. They get nuked before he gets to the minions. That's good. Is Godfred running Thunderlords here? Let's see. That's one Thunderlord's proc. I haven't seen the second one. So I think right now, Ignite gets applied. If Pepe doesn't flash, Nukeduck dies. That's how bad it is. If Pepe Nero or X-Pepe does not flash, the second Ignite, which was likely from Godfred, will get that kill. But because he flashes in, gets exhausted, honestly, that clutch exhaust was really solid. Finished the point later, let's look at the masteries. So we had double Thunderlord's procs there, indeed. So that was the maximum damage we could get. Again, that Ignite runs out, he dies. He's gone. But the fact that Pepe jumps in, dies, triggers dangerous game, or the level up, suddenly means that Nukeduck survives, and that swings the entire chain of events.
3 minutes in and Gangplank has got 2 kills. There's going to be a tower trade as both teams are pushing respective lanes. And we can see Batong Yoka, he's left the tower to start clearing out the jungle. Shook doing the same up top. Left a ring of wards behind.
And Kabashard is already in place to catch that bounced wave. He's probably just going to push it back though. That's something we've seen in the evolution of lane swaps. Freezing is just not worth it anymore. You may as well push it out a little more, because if Giants choose to freeze the top lane, the map pressure that will be generated on the side of Vitality will just be enough. Need to see this. So they're sending their dual lane top. Godfred may peel off, because that's the way Giants like to play their lane swaps. Have the 1v1 with Audrey. But if Vitality have done their research, Audrey holding 1v1 with the lane pushing against him will actually make him lose that matchup.
So Hyunan's moved his way down, and as you've mentioned, Audrey up top. Take a look at all the pink wards in the inventory. Kasing's already placed one just above the red buff area, the bottom quadrant of the map. Now let's see how this vision's going to play out, because the map is already open. Teleport for Cabo, teleport for Atom.
So usually in these scenarios, the top laner is slightly under-leveled, 80 carries ahead, but because of the way the early game played out, they're on equal levels. And Cabo has the slight push, so he has control, at least, of the trades, and which means he can freely CS, so he will scale ahead of Atom. Now has to be careful of the dive. Remember, Kabashard still has teleport available. This is why this is considered a risky play by many, and you really need to get your members under the tower quickly enough, because otherwise the teleport comes in.
Well, Shook is going to look for this fight. Atom is still sticking around. He's trying to wave clear, and he's in trouble. The death sentence has found him. The flay will get interrupted by the black shield, but Ignite is ticking down. That was a flash forward for Atom to try find a route, I assume, for the teleports, and it ends up giving another kill to Vitality.
Yeah, Giants a little confused right there. He went up and at him, but he should have backed off. He was safe, I believe. I don't think the Ignite would have killed him. Anyways, Atom drops, teleport comes in. We saw Kabashard waiting in the base for the ideal moment. Kasing connected the hook. I believe Black Shield got applied late. So misplays galore for Giants so far.
And another tower will fall here in favor of Vitality. Nearly 3,000 gold in the lead.
And Kabashard takes it again, man. No one man should take all those towers.
Hey, listen, the rest of the team's got kills. Give him the towers, man. You got Nukeduck on 2, Hyonan on 1. See what he can do with the gold.
That was another hip-hop reference that Trevor did not get. I love sneaking them in. Anyways, Nukeduck is ahead in the matchup here.
Style of music, I'm afraid.
Not your forte.
Yeah.
Godfred is going for try number 3, 4. Finds the pink ward. Nukeduck's level 6. He has a level advantage right now, so that's the hard part. If you return to a lane that you failed gang before, well, yeah, the guy's going to be out-leveling and he can maybe even 1v2 you, and if then somebody steps in, the game is over. But at this point, Giants can't afford to not take those risks, I feel.
Well, Vitality have got all the cards to play, and Nukeduck's actually used Cannon Barrage.
Yeah.
I have to take a look where that is. I think that was in the top lane on
He used
Audrey.
it top to make sure that Audrey could no longer freeze, so he forced the wave in there. And Audrey right now, you see, he's on half HP, so he's been freezing the lane. So Giants, not only did they mess up the early game, because of the way they like to play and get back into it, they're playing the map 4v5. Kabashard is level 5. Atom is on a long lane, level 3. Audrey needs to push that lane out, join his team, because he's the only member that can go equal against his opposite member on the other team.
It'll be a long time before he can stand toe-to-toe, though. For Giants,
I mean, what is Atom gonna do? This lane should be frozen. Just pan over.
it looks...
It's not frozen, but it takes a while before those minions push back, and by that time, they will be back up.
Well, Vitality, they came out the gate swinging, and they've used every advantage possible. The ward will reveal both Godfred and Batong Yoka, so Cabo can start backing away. He's almost got access to that slicing maelstrom, and that will give him a lot of power in those multi-man fights. But look at Nukeduck. Chains the barrels.
And you can only do that because you're already ahead in the matchup. If this matchup is even in the early game, it becomes a lot harder because a missed barrel will mean a really good counter rate from Pepinero, potentially an all-in. But right now, Nukeduck is so far ahead in this matchup. He gets the early Sheen too, which means more poke on every blast. And Pepe is playing from behind. He has double Doran's Amp Tome. He's playing catch-up. Giants is playing catch-up everywhere. And we talked about it in Champ Select. Explosive matchup. Whoever falls behind will get absolutely slaughtered. Look at Hjarnan slowing down this wave. It's pushing towards Vitality, so it's a freeze.
Look at all the vision in that top quadrant. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count 7 wards available from the river to the jungle. 8 more. It's just information galore here for Vitality. Death Sentence finds Godfred. He's in trouble. We'll get pulled backwards by Audrey's fake call. Godfred opts to go back in. Atom is teleported forward, and Shook rides the Lantern to safety, but it's Godfred's Ignite that picks up the kill.
Yeah, this is why Kalista is such a power pick. Fate's Call, they did not realize that Audrey hit level 6, and Godfred can finally play that super aggro style forward because he knows he has Fate's Call to pull him back. Miscalculation, Shook ends up dropping. No ultimate used. And right now, they need to capitalize. Giants need to use their numbers advantage and dive the top lane.
Let's see if they can. No minions to work with, unfortunately. I'll take a couple of autos and doesn't really care much for Audrey's auto trades.
Shook's gonna face check his own jungle right now, but it could also spell a collapse from Vitality. Let's see how this plays out.
And there might be a gank here onto Nukeduck. He's going to be the target. That's a flash kick. Nukeduck is getting chunked down, and Pepe's going to use Spur Rush to pick up the kill.
What a fantastic play. Nukeduck was holding his flash until the Lee Sin came close enough, and then he wants to flash to change direction, so the kick ends up saving it. So what Betongyaka does there, he waits for that exact moment, but then he flashes in range himself, surprises Nukeduck, and then the chain CC comes out. So it really can't... You can't overstate how important that flash from Betongyaka was, because otherwise Nukeduck would have just flashed to safety, used his exhaust on the incoming damage too, and suddenly that play could have turned around. So really smart flash from Betongyaka.
So more of these glimpses of positive play from Giants, despite being so far down, despite being so far back, they've not given up yet. They find themselves a kill by punishing Shook earlier. Maybe a little bit lucky on their regard as Godfred was in range of Audrey, and a confident tower dive in the middle lane. So Pepe gets the kill. I'm taking a look at his gold. Still about 600 gold behind Nukeduck. Thanks to GP being GP, Cannon Barrage comes down. One more parlay will not be enough, and Pepe manages to walk away.
And this is the second largest gold lead at 10 minutes that we've seen in the European LCS this season. The other one was Unicorns against Fnatic. So Vitality, the better team on paper, with an excruciatingly large gold lead already. So things are looking rough. Giants will need more of these plays where they surprise Vitality.
Gold lead will get melted just a little bit here once this tower goes down. Kiana wants to try and defend. Make It Rain comes out. That's a very good double up.
That flay is so close because if she actually gets flayed there, she has no more time to proc the E afterwards. So you can actually cancel this under E if you flay on the perfect frame.
Yeah, Glacial Path at max range.
Yeah.
So, Atom gets away alive. The tower stands with a sliver of health. Down to about 500.
Teleport advantage though for Vitality. Let's not forget, very important. Nukeduck.
Let's look for the charm. Goes wide again. Pepe missed a few. Orb of Deception comes out, and Nukeduck using that movement speed of the boots and the phage just to keep himself alive. Kissing, swing and a miss. They happen.
Goes wide. Atom is catching up in the bottom lane right here, which means pressure on the remaining parts of the map from Vitality onto Giants. Establishing deep vision, something Kissing was really good at. The vision game in general from Kissing has been fantastic. 4-man siege in the mid lane now.
Yeah, the wave clear is there, of course, from Pepe and Orb of Deception. A little bit of a juke from Betongyaka. Try to psych out the Vitality roster. Atom's waiting in the wings, so the claw can come over the wall. And remember, there's no real tough front line here for Vitality.
And
either win through killing you or... Well, that's it. That's all they do.
Yeah. All members in the mid lane right here. Different RM scenario though. This time there's plenty of engage on both sides and a lot of damage.
Oh, the AoE is so scary from Vitality here. If you layer everything together.
Yeah, but the pick potential on Giants is not to be underestimated either. One bind into Charm, into the Kalista passive from both autos is enough to take somebody down to like 30% already. At that point, Atom could go in self-ult in the team fight too. Remember, later in the game, Atom can go into the backline and self-ult to buy time into Zonias. That is 5 seconds where you keep the entire enemy team busy, and then you WQ as you come out, and suddenly all those super AoE targets, yeah, they get melted too.
Let's see if Atom can get a chance to do that. Hasn't got his Road of Ages completed yet. 59 CS to the 85 of Cabo. Cabo's actually got around 900 gold more than his opponent, and we've not seen him. But Cabo's just been farming quietly, safely in those side lanes.
Kennen is a ninja after all.
When we do eventually see him, he'll be wailing down with thunder. Almost got that hourglass as well.
Yep, and definitely after 20 minutes, when you get the free home guards, it's actually on curve for Kennen. Whereas like champions like Hecarim and Ram's jungle with teleport, it exists.
I know, I love the scale. Kennen, Hecarim, Rammus jungle with teleport.
I've seen the dark pits of solo queue. Those champions, they want boots 2 and home guards early, so they did get punished by the changes to home guards. But Kennen, he doesn't really care. He wants Zhonya's finished, and usually, especially in the lane swap, that takes a while, so he's on curve for that 20-minute home guards.
I like that. Golf claps with the tower going down as Giants do finally knock over their top outer turret. Yannick Singh, somewhat unrelenting. They've been sticking around this mid lane, playing wave clear duty while Nuketex were farming. He's got that Trinity Force. So the first of 3 big items for Gangplank.
Yup.
He's just going to look to...
But it's quick though. 14 minutes Strife Force and boots 2. That's going to be a rough run.
That's a partially fed Gangplank, man.
Partially?
Yeah.
What's your definition of a fed Gangplank?
I don't know.
What have you seen in solo queue?
I feel like 3 kills becomes like really fed. Yeah. 2 I think is like... I don't want to use okay because that's also not fair.
Decently fed?
Decently, yes. Nourished. Nourished is
hitting his macros?
He's nourished.
Gangplank is hitting his macros.
Might have to stick with that one. Actually, Nuketex is also very close to getting his first upgrade on that Cannon Barrage as well. 450-odd Serpents.
Hang on, Pepe's getting poked out here.
Good Black Shield this time around.
Flash.
Defensive flash, but Godfrey wants to get lobbed in. He's found Kasing. The box is going to get put down in the Cannon Barrage for disengage. Atom has committed a teleport for this. He's followed the claw in, and Shook is the target. They've got themselves a kill, but here comes a slicing Maelstrom, and there's 4 members of Giants. They're forced to flash away. They've traded support for Jungler, and the death sentence finds Batong Yoka. He's looking for Nuketex. There's another exhaust. It saved Nuketek's life, and Batong's looking for the Sonic Wave. He will not find the shot, and Giants are backing away.
Honestly, good fight from the Giants here. Let's see what Batong can do at the end. His spatial awareness is actually fantastic. Some of the little decisions that he makes in his fights.
The shield manages to stay alive. He's gone back in, and the lantern. Wow, another kill for Hyun and a Vitality.
As I say that, he makes a little bit of a mistake, but I like the way he's playing. He's not afraid to... How do you put this? He forces people to react with his movements. Let's watch this again. So again, no hesitation here. Because Sing eats the charm. He has the flash. Good. Instant Morgana ulti. Or Morgana throw in rather. Sing has the box. Smokescreen is really annoying here for the Giants. That's why they can't catch Kasing. Watch Atom. He goes in. Single target change on Shook. Everybody's going for it. And watch what Yoka does right now. He uses Nuketek as an escape vessel almost, and Caboshark's ulti completely whiffs. Yeah. All the flashers are still available, and just keep your eyes on him right now. He's gonna zone Nuketek, gets him low, forces the exhaust, and right here we see this little dance. That's what I like about Lee Sin players, that are confident, that can stick around for a while to look for the outplay, then back off. Eventually he goes back in. He turns around right here because he knows Cabo's coming, so his spatial awareness in these fights is very great. Gets out with a sliver of health right here. And then it's debatable whether he makes the mistake right now. No, he had to go, otherwise Hyuna would get the hit, so he played that fight pretty much perfect.
So Giants again mechanically showing they're not so far behind, despite being down in gold, despite being put on the back foot to play from behind for so long. And Cabo's first big ultimate, look, it got 4 flashes. You can't understate that, but it didn't find the impact that Vitality were looking for.
Rise
is in trouble. The flare will not matter. Oh, bullet time goes out. Self-cast on the tomb. Atom should still go down though. Easy kill from Parlay, and you can hear the gold falling. Another tower in favor of Vitality.
Yeah, Atom surprised himself there. Invited a little bit too many members to a surprise party right there. Ended up following. Nobody was close from Giants to follow up. That could have been a good setup if they communicated that bait.
Yeah.
But we don't know whether Giants could have actually made it in time, or whether Adam was overplaying there.
And of course, because Giants then respond to that top pressure, they're out of position to defend middle. And Nuketek and the rest of Vitality pick up their 4th tower. So that gold lead that was 2,000, 3,000 is now 6,000.
Yep.
And Vitality continue to dictate the tempo, despite some good, team fights maybe, or skirmishes from Giants. It's just feeling like it's too little.
We've seen Shards of Brilliance in some of these unique picks, but overall the map play is still going to Vitality. They're in control. Giants sneak a dragon here, that's good. And we now need to see how good their vision control is, because the #1 step to making picks is obviously seeing where the enemies are, because it's really hard to hit blind skill shots. So you prefer to see your enemies, and then you want to deny their vision. You don't want to be seen, because then obviously you will get juked. So they're waiting for a pick right here. Let's see if Shook makes the mistake. Clears the camp immediately. They see it.
Godfred, gonna look for this Dark Bunny. He's still only level 6. Well, it's gonna pull in Godfred, and Kasing's in place as well.
Either he's really respecting Shook as like a clutch player, you know, like a forgiven player where something comes out of rush and you want to panic backwards, juke into it. Shook probably wasn't even watching his screen right there. The good old blind dodge. That's when you hit the highlight reel and people are like, oh my god, fantastic.
And of course, that's because we're assuming that Godfred was aiming for the Duke. Is that the assumption?
I mean, like, how else do you explain that binding? No, it's rough, yeah.
That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, so I don't think he aimed for Duke, I think he missed. I don't think you should ever aim for Duke lying on a brush. So
The next question is there a difference? If you aim for Duke or you miss and they still miss, is there a difference? That's a debate for another day. Cannon Barrage comes
there's a
down.
big difference.
Okay, and Vitality.
Which is it's great when people ask you afterwards. It's like, yeah, aim for Duke. You know, I never miss. This guy's just too bad to eat my skill shots. If he was a better player, he would have gotten hit by that. I say it every time.
I absolutely love that. If he did what he was meant to do,
yeah, if he was a good
I would have
player,
hit him.
I would have hit him.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't work out. So red buff does get bored.
Audrey is a good player.
Audrey gets
Therefore,
caught out.
hits him.
Audrey dancing around that red buff.
But look at the pink wards. That's what I like when I watch Vitality. You look away, look back to the inventory, 3 more pink wards. Kasing places crazy amount of pink wards. His teammates are catching up. And they move them.
Yeah.
We were tracking the indicators of death. We'll go into this a little later after this siege plays out here.
Don't know if there's anything Giants can do. There's simply no way unless they throw themselves at Vitality. Wind up on the death sentence. Pepe jukes this one. Kasing was
not aiming for dodge.
Not aiming for dodge. We'll make this a
because
mini
he
game.
thought he was in Fog of War. Yeah.
We should make that one of the Twitter questions one day. Was
Did
this
he,
play?
Yeah, did he aim for dodge or not?
Yeah.
But then you can take it a step further, you know that he knows that I know, you know?
I hate that. It's one of those, I think it was in Zoolander. You know I knew you knew I knew. I'm getting a bit confused here. But Vitality, look at this. The map is theirs. Vision, absolutely in control. They're going to siege, set themselves up down the bottom. Somehow Atom died. Well done. Yep. Now Vitality in a 5v4. They're going for the tower. A two-man flay, and the death sentence finds Pepe. A double kill for Cabochard. And Vitality are going to look to take this inner turret.
Yeah, all inner turrets down. The last one remaining. 2 members down on the side of Giants. Unrelenting pressure right now here from Vitality. And to touch a little bit back on that pink ward point, Kasing places something like 13, 14 pink wards. Godfred places 6 on average in a game. So more than double the amount of pink wards on the side of Vitality. And we track the cause of death for a lot of these wards. And a lot of them is just Kasing moving them. Let's see what happens here. Cabochard waiting. You always wait until he's about to base, because he's in the shop right now. He's like, do I take the pretty purple one? Do I go for the blue item? No, I'm dead. Okay, why is my screen gray?
Is that how you shop in League of Legends?
Yes.
Ooh,
color. That's why
pretty.
yeah, pretty.
It'll match my shirt and tie today.
Exactly. But no, you always wait for them to be near base, because then people always assume they're safe. Always watch your character until you're in the base.
You saw gigantic smiles in Sean's face as well just before the replay popped up. And you know, you were talking of those pink wards. 13 of them for Kasing. He's currently pulling a James Bond. Right place, right time. He's had good lanterns. He's had good death sentences. And I like seeing Kasing when he's on form.
Yeah.
He really is a great playmaking support.
He just he understands every aspect of support play. You have certain players that excel at certain aspects. Say like you think about Bunny Fufu. Not necessarily this, but like lastly, when he first came onto the scene, he was like the Thresh player, and he understood every single aim for dodge, predict. That's it. But he was still struggling because he came from Challenger into the shot calling. He's still kind of struggling. But if you look at Kasing, he's a more well-rounded player. He is very vocal in terms of shot calling. Don't know what happened with TSM. Can't really judge if that was the case, whether it worked or not. But he definitely leads his team in terms of shot calling component. He can play a multitude of champions. He plays a really good vision game, but he has the mechanics to back it up. Yeah. Which is why he's one of the most respected players in the support role in Europe.
Yeah, definitely the case. And right now, Vitality, they got themselves a 1-3-1. They got themselves 10,000 gold in the lead. Cabochard is just going to lightning rush away.
And here we see an extension of the segment that Deficio did. This is a 1-3-1 being put up where you push in the lanes and you reveal the opponents. They have to clear the waves. They are in vision. You can now use the time to do whatever you want. Is that retreating, denying vision, baiting a Baron, killing Godfred if he face checks?
Well,
any of the above.
Godfred, teleport's gonna come in from Cabo Shot, and that slicing Maelstrom slices through Giants.
And there is nothing Giants could have done because they got split pushed in. They could not beat any of the individual matchups. Cabochard was careful enough to not get caught. He disengaged when two members came towards him. At that point, Giants were locked into their base. Vitality had this knowledge. They returned, denied the vision, and then collapsed with leftover wards in the enemy jungle. Right now, they were looking to take Baron.
Well, let's see if they can. Down to 700, will secure it. Remember, there's no real tank, so they're low. But Atom gets interrupted! Kasing found the death sentence, and Atom could do nothing!
Atom was waiting. He was looking at the pit right there. He wanted to go in, but he did not keep track of the hook. He could have jumped in over it, in theory, in a subpar position. So either way, that hook was great. Either it forces Atom to jump in early, or not at all. And he got chain CC to death.
Vitality are just putting on such a great show. Good hits onto Audrey, he's forced to flash. The spooky ghosts come out and Nukeduck eats an orange, and it's okay. But Giants will be able to get away.
Yep, next orange he eats, it'll be a KO, I think, for Giants. The early game did help, but they're showing some really good individual mechanical plays. Aside from good strategy here, Vitality, and yes, they are besting the lowest placed team in the league, but they're doing it in a manner that is convincing. That does bode well for their progression.
I've had a thought. That whole I knew you knew, I knew you knew.
Yeah.
Death Note did it the worst. Season 2.
Never watched it.
Oh.
Spoilers, by the way. Thank you.
The whole premise is like detectives. No spoilers, but it's about detectives and two like super detectives that pit their minds against one another.
I thought it was about a book.
It is, but there's a whole complexity to it.
Right.
And the premise is he knew you knew or he knew you knew.
I know there's a fight here, Trevor.
I do too! And Atom has rooted all of Vitality! There's no tanks! Giannis flashed away! He's got a triple kill with bullet time! Now Giannis looking for more! That's not gonna be a quadra as Shook finds the kill secure and the double to end it. This will be the base. Giants have been ace, and Vitality are waiting for the Baron empowered minions to push forward. The Nexus will be the next target, and what looked so good for the Giants did not matter because they were so far behind. The Nexus turret goes down, and Vitality, they just put on a fantastic showing to close this game out.
Yeah, it takes them longer to kill those Nexus towers than it does winning that fight with the explosive Misfortune ultimate. The Nexus goes down, Giants lose, Vitality take the game. Hey man, we predicted explosions. I think the last fight indicated very well what can happen. Imagine if these teams are even and one of those fights breaks loose. Have fun play-by-play casting that one. Just like, explosion, guy dies.
I want to take a look what the goal difference was going into the fight, because coulda, shoulda, woulda, and unfortunately for Giants, they were simply too far behind. 12,000 gold roughly as that fight began, and despite what was a perfect engage from Atom, they just didn't have the damage to follow it up.
But just look at the kill participation on Kasing. 15 assists, 0-0-15 in a game in which Giants died 17 times. So there were only 2 kills in which Kasing was not involved. Nukeduck was involved in 12, the next member there. So Vitality really playing to their team fight strengths. And Giants, they found some picks. They did go with 0 hesitation.
Yeah.
Sadly, level 1, they should have hesitated a little more, should have waited. But of course, it's very easy to see with Fog of War advantage and with hindsight. That's why I prefer being here these days.
Exceptional play from Vitality, showing why they are considered one of the best. And, you know, I mentioned this yesterday, how when you look at teams after wins and losses, it's figuring out what was good, what was bad, and then working around it. And for Vitality,